Now, it's not news that unemployment seems to be a major problem confronting this great nation. And with universities chunking out more graduates than the labor market can take, it is even becoming more frightening. And many believe that the only way this can really come to a halt is when young persons venture into their own personal business to survive this harsh reality. And that brings us to our big story for today. And we'll be talking about entrepreneurship and opportunities for young Nigerians. And to help us talk all about that is someone that seems to know all when it comes to being, or rather starting off a good business. And we're talking of no other person but Mr. Felix Akpos. He's a business coach and an entrepreneur. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Okay, I want to ask, are there really opportunities in Nigeria whereby young persons can venture into their personal businesses?
I would say very big yes to that, because it's not just only limited to Nigeria.
Yeah.
There are opportunities globally.
Okay.
I want to state 3 major facts about life itself and entrepreneurs as it has to be.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is a very viable pathway for any individual, not just for only youth. Globally, anywhere you find yourself, entrepreneurship is a major and a viable pathway for anyone. And secondly, entrepreneurship is what makes every economy on planet Earth to be industrialized. And then thirdly, entrepreneurship helps to create better experience, exposure, and more reliable expertise. Okay. So whatever it is that you are, and whatever it is that you're going to as a destination in life, you must be able to embrace the concept of entrepreneurship. Okay. I was talking to some people some days back, and over the years I told them that no matter where it is that you are right now, in your career or you're in studies or whatever it is you're doing right now, they might be paying you maybe 10 million every month or per annum and all that. But whatever it is you're doing, when you're retiring, you're also retiring back into entrepreneurship. So it is better you start very early enough and get all the experience and expertise so that you can actually create a system for yourself than starting it late. So I always believe that no matter what you're doing, you should create it as a plan B for you, so that you can get all the necessary, things that you need to know, to grow a better business.
Let's look at developing our minds towards, because a lot of persons will say, look, that's the basics for you starting off your own business. You have to have the requisite knowledge about what you are venturing into, so that you do not get in there and get stuck or sink. So what would you say are the basic ingredients that one needs to, develop or absorb into the mind before venturing into entrepreneurship? Okay,
I would want to look at it from 2 angles. First of all, I want to look at it from the spiritual angle and then from the general angle. Yeah. Now, it has been shown by research that Africans, or mostly Nigerians, are the most spiritual or religious people. They are so religious about a whole lot of things. They don't know that sometimes you need to call a spade a spade. If you want to look at it from the spiritual angle, 3 major ingredients you need, to be able to, start up entrepreneurship and become successful. You can see that in Proverbs 24, verses 3 to 4. It said, through wisdom a house is built, and through understanding is established, and by knowledge is the chamber filled with all good and pleasurable riches. So the 3 ingredients you need there to start up and grow entrepreneurship, it's wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So when you get knowledge, you get better understanding. And when you get better understanding, you are able to get the wisdom to be able to start, develop, and consolidate. Okay. Then secondly, I want to also look at it from the general angle. 3 major things you need to be able to start up any entrepreneurial venture, and then you'll be able to grow at it. First of all, you need to be able to have a paradigm shift in your skill set. You need to upgrade from the talent level to the skill level. People don't pay for talent, people pay for skill. What is skill? Skill is processed talent. So if your talent is there and you can't process it into a skill, there's no way you can offer it as a product or a service to be able to do business with other people. The second thing is that you need to be able to upgrade your money sense. You need to upgrade from saving to investing. Saving is good, but investing is better. What are you investing into? You must invest into something that can meet people's needs and wants. A lot of people, they follow just investing into something that is trending. We understand trending stuff are good to invest into. But you know, sometimes it's very important that I tell people about some things. That there's an investment principle that I work with. It states that, I think I learned that from Warren Buffett. He said, when people are greedy, become fearful. And when people are fearful, you should be greedy. But the reverse is the case now. A lot of people that want to do investing, they always want to turn it the other way around. When people are greedy, that's when they become greedy. And when people are fearful, they also become fearful. So you must understand that the down part is saturated, it's so crowded. Elevate yourself to the next level so that you can be able to do better things that will help you to grow. So you need to upgrade your mindset, upgrade your money sense, and also upgrade your skill sets. That's on a general angle. If you can upgrade these three things, then you'll be able to become successful in entrepreneurship.
Okay, let me ask you about information in itself, because as much as many persons want to venture into a particular business, how important is getting the needed information about that venture before going into it?
Just like what I said about viewing it from the spiritual angle, information, understanding, and wisdom is the major ingredients. Now, if you are starting up a business, the major thing you need is capital. But you know, capital have four major different categories. First of all, there's spiritual capital, then you have the intellectual capital, then you have the physical capital, and then you have the social capital. Now, these four major capitals, you must arrange them in the right proportion for you to be able to excel, in it. Now, first of all, you need the spiritual capital to guide you on the idea that you already have, so you can plan and structure out something out to make it a good business. Then secondly, the next thing you need after that is intellectual capital. Is to go for the necessary knowledge. How well are you good with what you do? People are not after you being able to come around and then they're able to give you an engagement and then you do it and they pay you off. No. Retainership is key. How often can people refer you? As a brand, we've been able to create an identity that even 80% of our clients that work with us today, we've never met them before. They come from referral. Reason being the fact that we are so good at what we do that we give people, we give customers value for their money. We even try to give them more than what they pay for. So if you are able to have that intellectual capital, then you can fly. And then the next stage, you'll be able to get social capital. Now, that social capital, even when people introduce you to other people based on relationship, those people they've introduced you to, they don't know you before. They want to test your knowledge. How well is the person? They want to ask you one or two questions about this thing. And if possible, they want you to do a quick one for them. Deliver this thing in less than 24 hours. If you can deliver, you've been tested and trusted, and then you can move. Before you now move into the physical capital, is the financial capital. But a lot of people limit themselves with that physical capital, and at the end of the day, miss it out.
Let's look at access to credit facility as a major roadblock for budding entrepreneurs in this country. Some countries we know take almost 0%, others take 1% of interest, when seeking facility, that's loan facility to help boost your business. But in our climb, there's so much going on there in the commercial banks mostly. Their criteria are really out of this world.
True.
The only thing they will not ask you for is to go and bring your father's head.
True.
So, with that type of situation, how do you think, what do you think can be done, to make it a little bit more flexible, to encourage entrepreneurs in this country to help grow their business?
Okay, I think in that light, I would want to look at it from two major angles. Now, irrespective of the fact that every entrepreneur, whether young or old, you need the right skill set to be able to thrive. Both corporate and private organizations should create more platforms for young entrepreneurs to gain access to internship, trained workmanship, and everything that he has to do. Do you believe that even the conditions most organizations give these days for their training programs and even volunteer programs are so high that you can't even meet the majority of that is the age limit. You can't say somebody should come and work with you at the age of 23 and then the person is supposed to have 5 years working experience. How long did the person go to school? How did the person do his internship and every other thing that he did in school and all that? Now, if you look at it from the other angle, two major things I still think that needs to be in place as well. It's for these government to create more policies that will help these young businesses to thrive. If you look at it now, the way the government, with all sense of humility and truthfulness, I want to say, the way government creates policies that benefit those in government, they don't give such priority to policies that benefit entrepreneurship in this country.
Or even the general
populace. And also, another thing again is that government runs so many entrepreneurial programs without giving preferences to the aftermath of how it will turn out to be for the trainees. They just run the program to make news, and after the program is ended, there is nothing to write home about those trainees.
There's no continuity, there's no follow-up.
Exactly. So what do they need to do? They need to start creating workable entrepreneurial youthful programs by infusing into it a right and quality follow-up, mentorship, and also a viable plan that will help to be able to get positive results from all this program. That's what is missing out. Most of them will tell you, we have a follow-up program. But does that follow-up program have a follow-up program? Because to sustain it. Does it have a follow-up program? Do you get feedback? Okay, in 5 years' time, these are the numbers of entrepreneurs we've been able to create. Every day they have a normal routine system of what they do. You bring the program, you train these people for 3 weeks, you give them sewing machines and whatever things you want to give to them and 500,000, and then you leave them to the street. These people don't have the right expertise. You need to allocate them to different people, either individuals or corporate organizations that are already doing the same thing, so they could have a follow-up on them, train them on how the market works, how the financial market works, how they can even invest the proceeds they get from that business to be able to expand. And immediately they do more like that for more entrepreneurs. You see, those more entrepreneurs will employ more people, train more people, and it will have a ripple effect on the economy, and then the economy will become industrialized.
Let me still be with you on form. And you're now talking about persons that go through trainings that maybe government organizations do establish. But let's talk about persons that already have the idea, or rather seek for funds. Now, in your years of doing this, have you seen, or is there any organization out there that are willing to fund or start new businesses for young persons? They'll just go there, get the funds and start. Are there any organizations out there that can help in all of that?
Yes, there are organizations as it relates to microfinance banks and then some other financial institutions like our normal local cooperative. I think the one I've really been able to see that it's very reliable are those local cooperatives. Because those other financial institutions that are corporate bodies in quotes, their conditions are so outrageous.
You must have the business.
You must have a business, or you must have, I was talking with one of my clients that came for a coaching class some time ago, and he said he actually wanted to do a course in being a financial investor. I said, that's cool. Is there no school in this country where you can study that course? He said, no, that he wants to school abroad. Now, his major issue was to be able to get funding for it. Now, there are international organizations that can give international students loan, provided you have a co-signer that would help you to be able to do that. Now, coming back home now, that career as an investment banker is not something that is very common around this environment. There are lots of investors that are out there that want to, individuals that want to invest in every kind of business that is very profitable. But they need a linking channel. So imagine if the government is able to create a platform whereby investors have relationship with investment bankers who can now link them to these young entrepreneurs. It's that simple. So even if the corporate bodies are stressing you out, you meet these investment bankers and they link you up to these investors and they close the deal. And then whatever it is that happens, the investment bankers are the ones to relate with both the young entrepreneurs and these investors. And it will be a smooth flow of activity and everybody goes home happy.
Well, we'll have to call in a break now. When we return, this conversation continues. Stay with us.